And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, we had a 1.5 hour warm-up before starting this podcast. How you doing today?
Yeah, listen, man, I was going to say we got in our 90-minute pre-pod warm-up. I'm feeling great. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Really excited for all that we're going to get into on this episode. How are you doing?
Glad that proctoring is over. State standardized testing is done at our school anyway. Wow, what a week. Really a lot going on, including, as we say today, today's April 15th. It's tax season, man. It's tax season. Tyler, I did not tell you this yet. We did our taxes, and we're getting a lot of money back. All of that money, for the most part, is for the solar panels we had installed on our roof in September. The solar panels, which cover 110% of our energy costs. Except they don't. We've been paying $100 to TEP, the electric company, since getting the solar panels. We're still paying in. It's not covering our actual costs. And what I was explained with was, well, maybe you're using more energy than we budgeted for. And it's like, we hadn't lived here for a year. How could you possibly know what energy we're using at the time that we got these in? Because we set it up in like July, and then September is when they were finally all finalized and installed. So it's only been around since September. So we did it because it was going to be $165 a month. It goes up to like $230, we'll say, if you don't take that 30% tax liability credit that you get back and put it back into the system right away. So tax season's done. Take that, whatever it was, $15,000, $16,000 back in taxes, whatever it is, and put it back into the system. That year, what they don't tell you, and apparently it's a legitimate sales strategy, which is what I was told, that Jess was told by the tax person, is that tax that comes back is split over 2 years, but you still owe it that first year. So I just have to pull like $8,000 out of my ass and hand it over.
That's pocket change, man. What are you talking about?
So we're taking that instead, throwing it at a bunch of debt. The price is going to go up to $260 or $230 or whatever. It's probably going to be more than that because they screwed up and didn't give us enough panels to cover the entire energy cost of the house. Listen, man, I don't care if it's $245, $250, $260, whatever it is a month. In the long run, it'll still end up being cheaper. So it'll always be fixed. It'll be that same price forever. I don't like being lied to. I really don't like being lied to. I don't care if you're lying through omission or not. You're lying. That's the part that pissed me off. I'm heated. Literally, it's hot in here. I can't turn the fan on because my fan blows really hard. It'll hit the microphone or it'll sound crazy. So I'm just in my hot ass house paying full price for electric. Otherwise, everything's great, Tyler.
I didn't know where that was going. I thought it was just going to be a helpful, tax reminder. I don't know if we were sponsored by H&R Block or, you were omitting something. But it was
solar is scam. Solar is a scam. Bleep these bleep holes. Bleep
was just a promo on Tucson Electric, who I remember very well.
That First wasn't of all, even TEP. TEP's just taking my money as usual.
Okay, yeah.
This is through.
I want to.
This is through you. You freedom. You call yourselves freedom, and like America, you lie. Freedom. Go to hell.
I'm not even going to follow that up. That's powerful. That's poignant. Man, hopefully we can follow.
What that it is, but I appreciate that.
Hopefully, well, your delivery was very powerful.
I had the point. A macho man. And let me point.
I was thinking
Jack Tunney.
I was getting some Rafael Palmeiro vibes as well. Do you remember when he had to talk in front of the court? I did not take performance enhancing. You liar. You absolutely did. But, the lie is usually, the cover up is usually worse than the action, as it's kind of a time proven theory, if you will.
Well,
not even
Tyler,
a theory, just a fact.
speaking of lies and cover-ups, it's time to talk about WWE. Hit me with your first question.
And now, it's time to talk WWE.
That was a phenomenal transition. My
Just
goodness.
burying people left and right in the first 5
Wow.
minutes.
Yeah, let's continue. So WWE, you set us up. We got the intro, and I absolutely have a question for you. Several headlines are worthy of my first question. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are the new tag champs. We are both forever hoping that the division gets time and builds storylines. Maybe we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment, but we're big fans of both of those women, and they have gold. Raquel, especially, is tag champ again. Trish Stratus turned on Becky Lynch. Perhaps we're getting that match at SummerSlam in Detroit. Shinsuke Nakamura is back, and his entrance still rules.
Sure does.
But yeah, different gear. I like it.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you about a reestablished faction that I know you are very excited about. And you also gave them some kudos a couple weeks ago. Shout out Santos Escobar, Zelina Vega, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza. I think that was his NXT name. He's going by something different now that I think about it. But the four of them are amazing. They're formerly known as Legado del Fantasma. Now they are the Latino World Order. Longtime wrestling fans, especially those of you who watch WCW, likely feel a lot of affection for this rejuvenation. The talent is here. The tees have been printed, Brad. Here's my question for you. What do you expect to see from this faction for the rest of 2023?
Hang on, I got to edit my question.
No way.
Yeah.
You went LWO too?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to ask the question.
But I love it.
Okay, so I have no idea where this goes. I have no idea where this goes. Ray is still, like, he set it up, but he's not part of it, but he is because he came in at the end. But it's LWO. Is it Latino World Order? Is it Latino World Order and not all Latinos? Because what are we doing with Dom and what are we doing with Damian? And I kind of like that they're the ones beefing heading into to the Puerto Rico event. That makes a ton of sense to get all those stars on screen. But if they're all fighting each other, I don't know that makes a lot of sense for that. But, you know, I'm not in charge of booking, nor do I know that there's anybody really in charge of booking right now other than Vincent Price McMahon. That guy who 2023, rest of 2023, probably coming out to massive pops and then jobbing out to people. That's what I see. Feels like that's what we're doing these days.
Yeah.
Too organically over talent. Anyway,
part of me was hoping you wouldn't say that, but it's a real authentic answer. That's what history has shown us in these situations. By the way, I was right. It's not Raul Mendoza. He was renamed to Cruz del Toro on the main roster. He's amazing. Man, I know WWE is not likely to create trios gold, but
they sure could.
I really want this faction to have gold. I want Zelina holding gold at some point. I know she was Queen of the Ring not too long ago. So that's a great look for her. I want them to hold gold though. This, like you said, Brad, there's a lot of momentum, but behind them right now, a lot of fan support. You and I are suckers for wrestling nostalgia. I really think Santos Escobar is talented enough to hold gold solo. What is most realistic, in my opinion, is Santos getting a mid-card title, whether that's like US, IC, US. I think that's most likely, but also Wilde and Del Toro have been dudes for several years now. I think they're also capable. What's most realistic, though, to me is Escobar getting that singles goal. But I just love what they're doing here. I love that they're bringing LWO back. And I think I need to find some fan cash. I need to check my fan cash account. I probably have about 93 cents right now. But if those LWO shirts go on sale, I may need to cop one.
Yeah, I thought about scooping one up. I also thought about the looks I'd get if I wore it to school.
Can we be real? That's what I also thought about. As someone who could possibly pass for being Hispanic, but is not fluent in Spanish by any means yet, sadly, I felt like, okay, if I wear that, am I wearing it in solidarity for my brothers and sisters, or is someone going to look at me and be like, bruh, you can't even speak Spanish beyond just the casual greetings. You're a poser. Am I overthinking this?
I don't know. I know I'm not doing it. I can't speak Spanish and look at me. I look like the inside of a can of Pillsbury dough. Like I just do. So it's one of those things where, and I know there are light Latinos. I get
Canelo,
it.
right? Combat Sports, Canelo Alvarez.
Yes, there's plenty of people that are white passing, but I'm always white passing. So it's
shout out Canelo.
It's one of those.
Shout out Brad. Shout out Canelo.
It's one of those things that like I would love to get one of those because I think it rules, but I feel like I would have to take it and put it up on a wall and not wear it, and just be proud of it because but I don't want to wear an NWO shirt. For a variety of reasons, most of them being the meme of Hogan starting to spray it on the side.
Right. Yeah, there are. No, I like first how you said white passing. That is much there's much more etiquette in there and much more respectful to Canelo. Great call there. NWO. I say this looking at an NWO Wolfpack plush bear that I got when I was a kid. When I think of NWO
Red,
a little bit. I think of NWO Red, I think of that being more socially acceptable at this point, at least in my life.
The Sting Red?
Yes, because I think of Sting. I specifically think of Kevin Nash, who signed my autograph when I was a kid.
That's amazing.
When I think of NWO White and Black, like you, I instantly go to Hulk Hogan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Virgil.
You know, Virgil's there too. We got Dennis Rod. If anything, I'd rather rock the red and black NWO, but I think my priority first is LWO. I just think they're those people, man. I think they really are deserving. LA Knight, LWO, there are just these people, these talents in WWE that I want to see them ascend in 2023, but I also don't want to get my hopes up if that doesn't happen.
Well, I'm not Conan. I'm not going to yell Odelay as a transition here, but that's what I think of when I think LWO. I also think maskless Rey Mysterio, and yes, I would love to see that. However, since you just brought up the second part of my question, we're going to transition into mine. Tyler, the LWO has returned and is getting enormous crowd reactions. They look great despite taking the L on Friday. LA Knight also wrestled the Friday night, and LA Knight also lost despite being arguably one of the most organically over acts in the company. What do you think the long-term plans are for these two acts, or are there no long-term plans? So it's so similar to yours. Then you brought up LA Knight at the end of your thing, and I was like, what the hell?
When I tell first of all, those of you listening and watching, thank you so much for being here. We'll get into our gratitude in our closing for sure. But I just want to let you all know that Brad and I did not plan this whatsoever.
If you've been, we didn't even talk about the shows.
If you've been here for a while, you know that our whole gimmick on gimmick infringement is we ask each other one question from WWE and AEW each every single week, but we never know what the questions are going into it. So first, I appreciate our synergy greatly today, my dude. Yeah, so we went over LWO. I think Santos is going to hold gold. I wish his comrades would also get a sniff at those tag team titles as well. Shout out Zelina Vega, as we said. For LA Knight, the dude needs wins. I get you can take L's and still be over. See Seth Rollins for the last 2 to 3 years. But in LA Knight's case, he doesn't have that signature win yet on the main roster. And I would even argue, Brad, going back to NXT, what was his signature win back then? Beating Cameron Grimes for the $1 million belt. And it turns out Ted DiBiase is a scumbag. He was in cahoots with Brett Favre, which we haven't talked about, but is also very, very troubling and upsetting. So I don't even want to think about LA Knight holding that gold now. So if you strip him of that, in my mind, he's not had that signature victory. Like you said, he is clearly organically over. I would love for this man to win Money in the Bank. If his momentum sustains or even continues to ascend or get louder,
he's the perfect one.
He is the perfect guy.
Yeah, he's the perfect guy.
Cody is still not champion, which I would argue is a travesty, and I think the ratings have maybe buffered my point there. I think Raw was down like 22% this week in terms of viewership. Like Cody versus Brock for the title, I think would be much more intriguing at Backlash, but that's maybe a conversation for another day. LA Knight, Brad, if we look at the field for potential winners for Money in the Bank, if we're just looking at the men's side for now, who is the play here? Cody should not win Money in the Bank as much as we want him to have gold. Seth, I'm kind of thinking
killed him, man.
I know. If I had my druthers, Seth is winning gold in the main event of next year's WrestleMania.
Should be, yes. Should have won this year. It's crazy. They've squandered Seth. I'm sorry to jump on you, man.
No, please. This is the perfect time.
This Seth stuff is driving me bonkers. The dude is like, he's never been more over than he is right now. People were screaming his song, and he goes out on Raw, and they go like, "We're cutting your segment. Stand there and direct and just walk to the back." That's your whole segment, is people singing, and then you don't do anything. You don't have a feud. You don't have a path. You don't have a plan. You just exist. Get the hell out of here. It's Seth freaking Rollins. It's Seth Rollins. What? You never even came back to that match with Roman where it got DQ'd. He doesn't get a rematch?
Yeah.
It's
absurd.
Like a year and a half.
It's absurd.
The Shield thing, the people were popping for that. Like the Shield music came on and I yelled in my house. That was beautiful storytelling. So Seth should be the plan. Forget Cody now. Like I'm already over Cody. I don't care anymore. Like this Brock stuff sucks.
Okay, that's news to me. Okay.
That sucks. Why are we doing John Cena stuff with Cody? Are you comparing Cody Rhodes to John freaking Cena? Stop it. Stop it. Oh my God, no. Cody Rhodes is not John Cena. John Cena is a totally different thing. Cody Rhodes, if anything, is skinny Dusty Rhodes. Like, have him be that. Have him go be the American Nightmare and stop retreading old stories because you're bad at storytelling, can't come up with a good idea, and do this dumb shit. I'm like, the American Nightmare. It is a nightmare. I don't want to watch it. It's so bad. His promo sucked on Monday.
Potential
His promo
clip being
sucked on Monday. Why? What? Why aren't you just out there going like, yeah, Brock sucks. We're getting security. I demand a rematch with Roman Reigns. Why are you just like, shucks, shucky dang darn? No, he's got to earn it. He's got to build it. He's been ROH, leaving the company, New Japan, starting AEW. He didn't earn it. The f are you talking about here? Didn't earn it. Now who's he wrestling? Ghosts? He's not doing anything. Except wrestling Brock. Brock dusted the dirt off of his tractor, headed on over with his little magical ponytail thing on top of his head. He's a yeehaw Viking, and he just murdered Cody Rhodes because the commentary said, I wasn't in the main event at WrestleMania, so now I'm upset with Cody for some reason. What is this? This is the most garbage storytelling ever.
Yeah.
Tyler, I've had too much coffee.
It's both can be
I'm
true.
having more.
You can have a valid point and have had too much coffee. My issue even goes back now 2 weeks ago when him and Roman had the promo and Cody said, Cody told us, the WWE universe, that Roman was the better man. It's like, no, he wasn't. He cheated to beat you. You had him.
Yes, that's
you
what
had
I'm saying.
Him clearly beat. It was your night. It was your moment, and he cheated. In some ways, it's on a much smaller level, obviously, but it's kind of tangential to like Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes on NXT, and that storyline of, okay, we have the needed heel turn from Braun, but him being painted as the bad guy because he's upset that Carmelo beat him. But there's been no acknowledgement that Carmelo and Trick Williams cheated to beat Braun, just like Cody is not, rather than saying, I had you beat, you cheated, I need my rematch now. It's, you were the better man, I didn't calculate, blah, blah, blah. So I'm on my road back to, no, he cheated. You were you have reason to be upset with how this is playing out.
Why is it management? Like, it doesn't make sense to the management. What, they just not watching? Like, they don't watch the show? They don't like, WrestleMania.
They don't watch
no, I'm catching up on old episodes of Desperate Housewives. Like, I can see these Triple H's in the back. Just, you know, he's watching and reading the Rose Report and watching The Bachelor is what's happening back there.
If there is one acceptable reason, that would be it. GimmickInfringementPod.com.
But they have him losing for no reason. Tyler,
I know.
Back to the question. LA Knight lost to Xavier Woods. And Woods cheated. Yes, he cheated the way that Knight was going to cheat.
You tried to, and yeah. And we love Xavier Woods, but he doesn't need this victory. He's a made man. Future Hall of Famer.
So I looked up some things. John Cena, 45 years old. Roman Reigns, 37 years old. Seth Rollins, 36 years old. LA Knight, 40.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a reason they're keeping him away from a belt. Is his age. Man doesn't look like it. Rey Mysterio's 48 years old. Undertaker wrestled until he was 82. Like, who cares? Who cares?
I know.
Everybody's clamoring for The Rock to come back to the ring to wrestle Roman in WrestleMania. Dude's 50. Like,
we're probably never getting that match.
No, we're not getting that.
No,
LA Knight needs a prop. Give him the prop belt, please. He's beloved. Like, everybody loves him. He is the Rock level of bad guy that we like. I wouldn't say Stone Cold level. Like, that was a different animal, but he's got his little catchphrases and they just sort of caught fire, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me so much of how The Rock just caught fire by repeating the same things over and over again. And eventually it's like, all right, this rules.
Charisma magnet.
Seth's song.
Yeah.
People just started singing it eventually. And now he's a babyface and he doesn't deserve that. Like, at all. He said horrible stuff.
Yeah.
That he does not deserve to be a babyface suddenly.
Yeah.
Like, was he not the heel in the Matt Riddle feud?
Oh, for sure.
But in real life, probably not. So I don't know. It's still over. Nothing changed. The match has happened, and then people just love Seth.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's not forget that, well, first and foremost, we hope Bray Wyatt, not even just the performer, but the man himself, Wyndham Rotunda, is doing okay. So LA Knight's first feud on the main roster, big spot for him, was against Bray Wyatt. For some, it worked. For many, including these two guys hosting the show, it did not deliver.
I still see Uncle Howdy flying over.
Yeah, so maybe it did deliver, because that was the funniest thing I've seen all year in wrestling. Howdy just launching himself, and like, what
you just see LA Knight's legs pop up.
This isn't, yeah. And there's fire and brimstone. Like, this isn't even
crash.
This is so bad.
It was so bad.
But it's not supposed to be ironically bad or even can be. I think it's supposed to be spooky and cool. My point is that LA Knight lost that feud, but somehow miraculously his stock really raised after that, because he really carried that feud on the mic in terms of the storytelling. As ridiculous as the Howdy business was, he sort of made it bearable at times.
Yeah.
Somehow his stock has risen since that Royal Rumble loss. I think this is the summer to really capitalize on him. I don't know how likely that is once again, but Money in the Bank, if he is in the field, Brad, if he is one of those, 8 dudes, it would just make me so happy if he is the one that climbs that ladder and pulls down that briefcase. I think the fans across the pond would go nuts. And I just think it's what needs to happen at this point. If it's Cody, I think that's a real error in judgment.
I agree, man. Like, here's my prediction, official prediction for Backlash. Cody and Brock, right?
That's the main event, likely. Yep.
Okay. It's going to be a Bret Hart, Kevin Nash finish. I can't see any other way. Brock is going to murder the dude for 5 minutes, and then Cody's going to roll him up. And then it'll be the end of it. He'll be completely dead. And maybe even Brock just kills him after the match too. Continues the beatdown, and then we don't see Cody for a while. I just don't know what you do to build him to make him super credible as a threat and make him a #1 contender worthy, even though that WWE doesn't actually care about any of that. They have #1 contenders matches every once in a while, but otherwise they just sort of show up and they're fighting. I never really know how that stuff works ever. Man, I don't know how they build them back. You have LWO is over. You have LA Knight, who is beloved. Raquel Gonzalez deserves that push now. Push her now. People are going nuts for her. She's holding a tag tag belt for tag belts that don't matter because they haven't made them matter. I know they're trying to, but Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green probably isn't the all-time classic tag team that we're waiting for, when we've had like 5 or 6 really good women's tag teams down in NXT that just get split up for no reason, seemingly, where it's like, if you want to build the tag division, just start calling people up. It's not hard. Becky Lynch being in a tag team, that's fine. Pairing people off every once in a while to be in a tag team is great. KO and Sami Zayn being in a tag team is great. The Rock and Sock connection was together for like a month, and people still talk about it. So you can still do all of those things, but they still need their like, they need Demolition to come out. They need LOD 2000. They need the Guns. They need FTR. They need, AEW has all the tag teams that are needed. Right now we have Street Profits, Usos, Viking Raiders. We don't have the New Day because everybody's hurt. And Kofi's not young. He's what, 45, I think. Wood's got to be getting closer to 40 now. Eve probably is closer to 40. So, and who knows if he'll ever wrestle again. And we just, there's a bunch of tag teams in WWE that are put together teams. RK Bro was fun, but like they're also single stars, and that's fine. I think that's great. But there aren't any women's tag teams. There's just tag teams made of women. And I think there's a difference. If you cobble these people together just to have a team, nobody's going to care. There's no reason for them to team together. KO and Sammy have a reason. Nobody else has a reason. Nobody in the women's division right now is like, we got to team together and take down the... Oh, there's nothing? Okay. There's no reason? Got it. If somebody else, let's say they didn't put Raquel and Liv together, Raquel could have been in the LWO with Selena and been a tag team.
Oh, wow. I didn't even consider that.
I was like, are they just, it makes it confusing. What is the membership status for LWO? How do we become in it? A part of this? Like, is LWO going to come out and defend you if you're Latin, or is this just something? I don't know.
Yeah, you got to sign the interest form.
Yeah,
Google Forms, Jones.
Because clearly they don't like Dominic and they don't like Damian.
Yeah. No, that's
because they're fans of Bad Bunny apparently, and that's it.
That's such a great way to put it. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do at Backlash. I hope that's a big spot.
I think it's going to be fun. I don't care. Yeah. Like, listen, man, I'm tearing down the logic. I think the people are awesome.
Of course, all of them.
Like they're all great.
Yep.
I just like, the booking is just not great. And I don't know that I could do better. That being said, I don't know that I could do better. Number one, I'm not in the business. Number two, I have no idea what the backstage politics look like. Number three, I have no idea what the contracts look like and what the language in those contracts look like. And number four, I would never want to do any of those things. I'm just here, Monday morning quarterbacking.
Yeah. As we all are. Well, booking in WWE, not always great. But what is great today, Brad, is that we are embarking on one of the best times to be a sports fan all year. We have the NBA playoffs. What's also great is a new sponsor for Gimmick Infringement. You want to tell us more about this?
Tyler, we are now sponsored by Sharps. Sharps is an app exclusive to Apple right now. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Are you tired of placing bets alone, not having anyone to talk about your predictions? Do you want to connect with other sports bettors and share your winning strategies? Look no further than Sharps, the social network for sports bettors. With Sharps, you can connect with friends, see what they're betting on, and even interact with their bets. The iOS app connects to all major sports books and daily fantasy platforms like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, PrizePicks, and Underdog. I recently linked the DraftKings app. I like going on there and doing the free-to-play pools. They have fun prop bets around AEW event time, AEW pay-per-views. Sometimes WWE does pick'ems. It's a lot of fun. But here's the best part. If you download Sharps now and use the promo code WIND, WIND 338, and start connecting with other sports bettors, you'll receive access to community to start showing off your betting chops and an opportunity to compare your bets with us. This is a mouthful, man. Wind 338 is not an easy thing to say. It rolls off the tongue, but Wind 338, you can connect with me. You'll see what I'm betting right now. absolutely nothing, but that will change soon. As soon as I can figure out how to link some money into my apps. Tyler, you got to see that live before we started here, but I'm stoked for this. Download Sharps today. User promo code WIND338 and start connecting with other sports bettors. Don't forget to share your winning strategies and interact with other users' bets. Join the social network for sports bettors and take your betting game to the next level. This week, we got NBA playoff action. Tell us about it.
Yeah, man. So this is just, I'm so intrigued. This is must-see television for hoops fans everywhere. Some of the more intriguing playoff matchups include the Sacramento Kings versus the Golden State Warriors. We also got the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies. My mother's favorite team, her dear, dear New York Knicks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. And of course, the Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm just going to give you my predictions on these, Brad. Man. Well, first and foremost, let's go with the Suns. We know they're winning. I'm going to go Suns in 5 for that one. Unpopular pick, perhaps. I got to roll with the homies from New York. I'm going Knicks beat the Cavs in 7. In 7. And these are the two series that fans are really, really clamoring for. Lakers versus Grizzlies. I would say about 65% of 19 Media Group are Lakers super fans.
That might be low.
So I want to be controversial and pick the Grizz. And the Grizz are the number 2 seed. The Lakers are 7. So picking the Grizz wouldn't be that big of a stretch. But there's a lot of hype around choosing LA here, going with the veterans, LeBron, AD, choosing them over Ja and those young cats, out in the 901. I'm going to go Lakers. I don't love it. I could be very wrong here, but I am going to choose Lakers in 6 for this one. You have thoughts on this big LA versus Memphis matchup?
I'm picking Lakers just because of experience. Because it's not that the Grizzlies are inexperienced, but they're not that. They're not AD. They're not LeBron. They've been there before. They know the pressure. I know that the season has had its ups and downs in LA, but I think they're going to get the win in this series at least.
Yeah.
The one that I'm looking forward to the most, though, Tyler, is Kings Warriors. Kings Warriors is a lot of people picking the Warriors against the number 1 offensive team in the league. I don't know, man. I have no idea how this one's going to go. Like the Lakers pick, I kind of feel like I have to go with the Warriors here.
I know,
given
man.
The experience.
I know. Yep.
But my heart really wants the Kings to win. I really want to see Sacramento get that win.
Yes.
I want it for the city. I would love to see that. There's a lot of fun basketball. Watching the other night when I was cooking, waiting for AEW to start, I caught the Bulls and the Heat game. That was a really exciting game. That it got close at the end.
Yeah.
And I anticipate a lot of that during this series. Kings and Warriors is going to be, I think it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. I root for the underdogs everywhere, Brad, in movies, in sports, in real life. I really want to choose Sacramento. I want to light that beam, but these are the defending champs. Steph Curry's been my favorite player in the league since his rookie year, since he came out at Davidson. So I got to go with the crowd. I got to agree with my mans here. I'm going to go Warriors in 7. This series should be amazing. I cannot wait for all of this basketball, Brad. This is a beautiful, beautiful season in my life.
Not surprisingly, I agree with all of your picks. I think I'm going Knicks over Cavs. Of course, I'm picking the Suns. And then that Kings Warriors that's a tough one, man.
Can I tell you, I really think we're going to talk in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be wrong about one of those 2 series. The Cavs could very well beat the Knicks. That's certainly possible, but I'm rolling with my homies. I'm rolling with the Knicks. I really think I'm going to be wrong about one of those 2, Brad. I'm either going to be wrong about the Lakers or I'm going to be wrong about the Warriors. And the winners of those 2 are going to match up ultimately. Yeah. So maybe it's me wanting Warriors versus Lakers to see all that star power, but something's just telling me that one of those series we're going to end up being wrong. But for now, Warriors versus Lakers, I think that's the move. I think we could see that. Something tells me the Kings are going to make us look like chumps in a couple weeks.
Question for you.
Yeah.
What's better for the league?
Warriors versus Lakers.
Yeah. Kings Grizzlies doesn't quite have the same.
No, the Grizzlies have some key
national
injuries on the
appeal,
front line. You know what? I should be more confident in my prediction. We're going to be right.
Yes.
Book it. Warriors versus Lakers. Suns will advance, probably to face the Nuggets. I'm gonna show some conviction here. Let's go with Warriors versus Lakers. That would be huge for the league.
Well, I'm going to be making my picks soon, so hopefully that pans out. When I put money on the line, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's gonna be beautiful.
Tyler, it's not just AEW time. It's your first question for AEW time. Let's get into it.
And now, it's time to talk AEW.
Yeah, let's do it. First and foremost, I loved seeing Sting on our television. I love it every time. He said this week, hey, Showtime is almost over, folks. I don't have that many more matches left in me. So I want to give a shout out to him. He's on my Mount Rushmore. It's just always such an honor to still see him on Wednesdays. That being said, here's my question for you. Here's my exposition leading to the question. The team formerly known as Swerve in Our Glory opened and closed Wednesday's episode of Dynamite. Swerve Strickland lost to Darby Allin, and Keith Lee lost to Chris Jericho due to Swerve's interference. Brad, we posed the following question is the right way to say that, from our official
today, man. We're killing it.
From our official GI Twitter account at GIPod19. Right. And I would like to know more of your thoughts because we may have different takes. Assuming this match will be on next month's Double or Nothing card, who needs the win more, Swerve or Keith?
Keith Lee. I said it on in Twitter. I can't remember what the words were there because it was fresh off his loss.
I got the receipts,
but I can paraphrase here. So Swerve Strickland, they split, right? Swerve leaves, starts Mogul Affiliates, gets Parker Boudreaux and Johnny Tatsalot, and they start attacking people, and then now they have a much upgraded version of the Mogul Affiliates. It's the Mogul Firm, whatever they're calling it, the Mogul Affiliated Embassy.
The Mogul Embassy, yeah.
Mogul, yeah.
Any of those will work.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the other two guys, if they're dead, what. Hopefully cut forever from the company, but the hopefully gainfully employed somewhere else. I don't want to take money out of their pocket and ruin their life, but I'm good seeing them on TV for now. Swerve has had some pretty big matches and has started a faction and has changed his gimmick and is such a great bad guy heel. Keith Lee left for 2 months, came back with white hair. Keith Lee needs to win more. Well, Swerve has started all of these different things and run these programs and done all these things with Darby and other talent, and not necessarily toward the top of the card, but like top talent in the company. Keith Lee just worked with Jericho, which is awesome. He teamed with Dustin. I can't remember the last thing he did before that. I think it was related to the tag team titles. The hell is he doing? So I think Keith Lee needs this desperately, to be honest with you. Keith Lee needs it.
I got the receipts. So you said on Twitter, you had the unmitigated gall to say, I'm going to say Keith. You are consistent, if nothing else. Swerve has started factions and rebranded entirely since the breakup. You just gave us a great background there. Keith got gray hair. Both, that was a pop. That was good. You are a wordsmith. Both need the win, but I think Keith needs it more, especially after this week. So I love what you said about both needing the win. And these are, some of the best matches when we think both talents really need the W, but we know that's not possible. So 67% of our respondents chose Swerve over Keith. And I'm going to say that was due to my influence and me responding with a Swerve gif pretty initially after this was posted. I hear you. Keith is my man. I would love that for him. That'll be a huge win. His biggest singles win in the company so far, and hopefully start a continued trajectory for him. Because I think this guy is main event title picture worthy. More realistic at the moment this year, probably TNT. But I don't know. When we talk about who's going to be the first Black male world champion in the company, I think Keith is a top contender. However, you brought up some great points about Swerve, rebranding his character, turning into a vicious heel. That is precisely why I think he needs the win in this match. If Swerve, first of all, Darby somehow completely solved the Mogul Embassy on Wednesday. So there's Brian Cage, who nearly committed premeditated homicide
So
the week before. He hit
Yeah.
the F10 on him.
Yeah. On the
And
ramp.
I thought Darby was dead for about the 15th time in his AEW career.
I had to
I thought
watch
it was
that
over.
slow motion like 4 times to see if his head really did hit the ground. Darby is a master at making you think he died. He is Jeff Hardy level good at making you think he's a dead man.
Jeff Hardy also appeared on Dynamite. I
Yes.
didn't even have that in my notes. I'm not sure how to feel about it. I hope he's doing well though. I hope so. Yeah, man. So my fear is if Keith wins, so Darby beat Swerve clean as a whistling sheet this past week, seemingly solving the Mogul Embassy and their nefarious ways. If Keith wins at Double or Nothing, my worry, I've been preparing this line all week, is that the Mogul Embassy turns into AEW's version of Retribution. They start out hot. They look like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a heel faction not to be messed with. We love the ringleader. For Retribution, it was Mustafa Ali. For Mogul Embassy, it's Swerve. But then Keith beats them. Hear me out. Keith beats them. And then where do they go from here? They're chumps. You can defeat these guys. We're not afraid of them. They're not going anywhere. But if Swerve wins at Double or Nothing, I could absolutely see him being the heel to beat, say, Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship, which, by the way, Orange Cassidy is crushing it. I've been so happy to see his run. Swerve wins at Double or Nothing, and then the next week, the next month, I could see him being the guy to end Orange Cassidy's reign. If he loses, they're chumps, and then where are we going with him from there? Did I convince you to join myself, to join Eshawn? Shout out to Eshawn from That's Freaking Wrestling Podcast for participating in the poll. Are you ready to join us, Brad?
No, absolutely not. So what you said there was ludicrous.
You don't think they turn into
vile,
Retribution if Keith beats them?
No. I think they turn into Retribution, probably, yeah. But
Okay.
You said like they started out hot. What point did Retribution ever start out hot? Ever? We were trashing them before Mustafa Ali showed up. We were like, this is trash. There was that spot where they went through the glass. I think it was they were like spray painting stuff and cutting ropes. It was awful, all at the PC. And then Mustafa Ali came back and we were like, oh, good, he's back. And then we're like, well, this sucks. What is Dijak doing with that mask on? Why does this look so bad? They were never hot. Kind of like this faction. Cheeks to start with. Brian Cage got re-signed.
He did. 5-year deal, I think, right?
I don't take Brian Cage seriously at all. He's putting on bangers and stuff, but his character sucks. They somehow ruined his character. I don't know how that happened after that Hangman match. Like, how do you screw that up?
I know. That was at Double or Nothing, ironically, at Daly's place. His
dreadful ring attire on the way down was something that needed to be thrown and burned in a fire pit somewhere. But that match was incredible. And he puts on absolute great matches whenever he's in the ring. I don't know what he is. Like, oh, well, he's the Swolverine. The hell does that mean? They're all big. Like, they all have muscles. I don't care. Like, tell me why I should care about this dude. What is this character at all right now? Mohawk Wolverine. Okay, got it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And he's with a prince of some sort. And now he's working for a mogul. What is the business relationship here? This is like, it's turning into Star Wars politics. You got a queen in the Senate. What is happening? So none of it makes any sense. Keith Lee right now losses, giant dude loses. Doesn't matter. He loses. Swerve got 150 people in a faction, 2 jobbers, a guy that just yells a lot, Swolverine. It's already bad. I think they could make it good. The other guys didn't really fit with Swerve, right?
No. Not at all. This is an upgrade.
But Brian Cage does. Okay, make it make sense. So that's my problem. Isn't that it exists? My problem is that it doesn't make any sense. Swerve going and getting some, like, well, let's just call it what it is. Swerve having a bunch of jacked up white dudes. It does that clearly have no inkling. Like, I don't know what Brian Cage is listening to in the car. It's somewhere between country music and Metallica. Like that's all he's listening to. I guarantee you Swerve's like, you should check this out. Oh, I've never heard of them. Is the answer. Okay, I'll check it out, but he's just going to listen to Jason Mraz. Like, there's no way.
Wow.
There's no
way. Brian Cage may be down. I don't know. I don't know
either.
Enough.
I'm totally guessing. I'm going
Jason
by
Mraz is that's a statement.
Hey, don't hate. I was singing it on the way to the haircut today. Okay.
Listen, I watched The Bachelor and Bachelorette. There's no shame. There's no shame here.
I didn't like his music until he showed up at my college and I had free tickets and I was like, I'll go. I was like,
shout out
this
Jason.
dude's legit. Really, really good. I don't get it. I hate it. Swerve could go do something on his own. Or if it's the Mogul affiliates, why not just keep having people like Rick Ross come in? Like, why have the people that are in his hip hop circle come in? They don't have to be wrestlers. Like, I would rather see that. I think that's much more intriguing, bringing in the other part of his life into the AEW world. I think that's awesome. That's what's cool. And that's what makes him a mogul, right? Like, he's doing this other business stuff that involves his music. That should be a focus instead of Brian Cage and Parker Boudreaux and whatever that baseball player tat guy is. Can't even remember. What's his name? Tank? Trench. And it began with a T and was warfare related. Could have been Tank. He went with a long hole in the ground. Guy's name is Trench. What?
It was bad.
It was so bad.
It was really bad.
I don't know if you might be right. Swerve might need the win more. I don't want this version of him to win it all. Not with those guys in the background. I just hate it. Keith by himself. If you're going to get over the white cloak, you probably have to win.
Yeah, Keith is also in an interesting spot right now. He's also really had a makeover, rebranding of his own. That's been a little controversial.
I don't mind the gray.
No,
like, I don't mind the gray at all.
Yeah.
And if you just wanted to go like, I'm just embracing who I am, do it. That's awesome. That's really cool. Go back to the old gear though. Be gray in the old gear. Because right now he looks like, you remember that like anti-Undertaker gimmick that was there for a little while? I can't remember his name. But he had like albino hair.
Mordecai?
I think it was Mordecai.
Yeah, I think about him every so often. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was Mordecai. I was like, that's kind of, he's giving me Mordecai vibes.
Yeah.
He's got the white hair and the white cape.
Yeah, that dude ended up being, I think he was the vampire in WWE's ECW.
Yeah.
I think it was not Kevin Smith. That's an actor. Kevin Thorne. That was him.
Kevin
yes.
Thorne. That's right.
I saw him live ECW house show here many years ago, but before that he was Mordecai. He was supposed to be Undertaker's foe.
Yeah.
I remember that dude well.
Yeah. So
it's creepy.
Yeah. Keith Lee's giving me those vibes without the creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. I want the old Keith Lee, the old vest, I want all that back.
Works still great.
Yeah.
Look great.
But still love him. And he seems happy. It seems like he was really embracing this makeover. It wasn't forced on him. So I'm here to support whatever he wants to do.
I don't know. I guess I don't care who wins it. I just want to see what they do next. And hopefully they both come out of that looking better because they're both great.
Yeah. Amen. Well said.
Okay, Tyler. I don't know if you even saw this news. I didn't ask you because I wanted it to be a surprise in case not. Andrew Zarian of the Matman podcast reported that AEW Collision will be a 2-hour Saturday evening show. Matt Black of WrestleZone reported it will be in the 8 to 10 time slot. The show is premiering in June and is going to reportedly feature CM Punk. June 21st is the Chicago show. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
You know, I had a feeling we were going to discuss this. I'm glad we didn't repeat questions here. It was in my what did we miss, which sounds blasphemous if we're a primarily wrestling podcast. And, what did we miss? CM Punk, AEW Collision. So, yes, I did see this news. And question for you. This would replace Rampage, correct?
No, Rampage will still
Rampage would still.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well.
We'd be up to the same amount of hours of AEW television as WWE.
Okay.
Just spread out over 3 days.
We love WWE some days, love AEW most days. I'm here for it. Okay, so Rampage would still exist. Didn't realize that. AEW Collision Saturday night show, very intriguing. If
TNT.
especially TNT, especially
More
if
likely, yeah.
especially if that's sort of, I don't know if we want to just declare it the CM Punk show, but if they go in with a specific, unique vision for it, I think a lot of us envision that Rampage was going to be more of a AEW SmackDown.
Yeah.
When in reality, I think it's kind of marketed and delivered to us more akin to a Sunday Night Heat or Saturday Night Velocity.
Great comp.
Right. That's much different than
Thursday
a SmackDown.
Thunder.
Thursday, yeah, much different than a Thursday Thunder, right? So I love that they would be getting a second 2-hour show. Saturday, to me, is not an awful time slot, especially if we're thinking about live events and actual live gates to get butts and seats. People like to go out on the weekends.
Yeah.
If this is going to be marketed around the return of CM Punk and it's kind of his show, I think there's a lot of promise there. I've been thinking CM Punk was going to return. I know we've been on an emotional roller coaster the last month with him, which is just kind of the CM Punk experience, it would seem. Right. But really encouraging news. I love that AEW is just going for it this year, right? With the Wembley announcement, with this potential 2-hour Collision show every Saturday. I love that they're not just staying stagnant and just being happy with where they're at. They're really coming for a share of the market, and they're really trying to push themselves to get more TV, to do bigger gates, to be at bigger venues. I really, really love that aggressive approach. And if we are to believe a lot of these reports, Brad, this summer is going to be massive for AEW. This summer may be the most pivotal 3-month stretch in the entire history of the company. Totally. So I am here for this news. I'm excited. And I just really love seemingly their calculated but aggressive approach to growth in 2023. What say you?
I think Rampage numbers are so low that it makes sense to try to bolster it in a different way. But as a taped show, you're really just getting a product. So if you have, let's say 200,000 people watch Rampage, that's 200,000 people watching a TV show that costs hardly anything to produce. And it's new, fresh content for them to put out there. You can get it on streaming services. You can get it. It's a no-brainer to me that, because people will poop on it for being a low number. Same with Dynamite, didn't do a great number this week either. I think it was a little under 900,000, which is about where they're going to be. Like between 800,000 and 1 million is pretty good, especially up against the NBA playoff or play-in tournament. So TNT as a landing spot, it sounds like that's where it's going to go. I don't remember who said that, but TNT as a landing spot. Saturday nights, TNT, I don't think Collision is going to happen every Saturday night. So if it's staggered, because sports are going to preempt that, Major League Baseball is going to preempt it. Playoff games for basketball are going to preempt it, or just basketball games are going to preempt that. On TNT, maybe not, but there's other sports that they cover, that they show, that will preempt the show. I'm sure of it. But I think AEW Collision is a natural place to put the Battle of the Belts and a natural place to have some of your special shows. So I was trying to figure it out. Wembley is August 27th, which is a Sunday. I don't know. Maybe it's a Collision episode. Maybe they just do it on Sunday night, and then it doesn't get in the way of AEW Dynamite, of Rampage. It doesn't put a financial burden on the regular viewers. Back-to-back weeks of pay-per-views.
I think that's too much to ask for folks to drop $50 back-to-back weekends. That's a great point by you.
I would love to watch ROH, but they got to bring the cost down on that stuff. I'm not paying $50 for an ROH show. I get it. And I love the wrestling on it. I think the wrestling on it is great, but $50, man, especially if you're a member of Honor Club, that's $60 that month to watch ROH. It's like, it's crazy. So if you're doing $60 a month, or $10 for Honor Club, $50 for Wembley, $50 for All Out.
Forbidden Door is happening this summer.
That'd be $110 with 2 months between Forbidden Door. It'd be Forbidden Door, July, Wembley, All Out. That's a lot.
Listen, dog, I'm still thinking about the $25 I dropped for Orange Cassidy socks at the Dynamite of Phoenix. Okay, like I've shown my appreciation to AEW. I want to support all wrestling companies.
Yeah,
I dropped $25 on some socks, man. Please make sure All In at Wembley is on cable TV. I need it.
Listen, I'm me too. I just thinking about it got me sweating. So I can't wait for the wrestling. I can't wait for all the content. I cannot wait for it. Also, kind of wait for it. Kind of like to be able to afford it. That would be great. But what we can afford right now is some free entertainment. But it came at a price. Tyler, you had a promo this week. You had some problems. Now, full disclosure, this is going to be edited a little bit because the original promo had a lot of heat. Bully Ray gif inserted. Enough heat where I think it might have been a problem for you. But it's time for our promo of the week. Play the music.
And now, the promo of the week.
One of my favorite aspects of high school English when I was teaching, especially when I was a student, involved learning new vocab. I'd like to introduce you to a word today. It's actually probably one you're familiar with. Communication. Now, it is the delivery of information or news. Effective communication is why I am cutting this promo. Why is effectively communicating such a hard ask for people? I'm not asking you to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm just asking you to effectively communicate projects you are working on that involve people's money. If we are implementing an initiative, we have to communicate across departments. We have to let our students know that they don't have to pay the application fee anymore. I should not be delivering that news to people who make more than me. They should be alerted. What the are we doing? Some folks are making six figures, upwards of $200,000 per year. This shouldn't be that complicated. I'm old, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm hurt. And I work with people who know better and need to do better.
I mean, I think I said my piece. I said what needed to be said. That was my third take at the promo. I had the original version, which I sent you, Uncensored Jones. Walking paper Jones. And then I did a second one, edited, quote unquote. And then I finally landed on this third one, which was the most concise, the most maybe socially acceptable promo that I could get away with. I just think, no, damn it, I know that effective communication is the key to success in life. In dare I say, in my 30 years on this earth, in business, with friendships, with romantic relationships. It's all about communication. We have to effectively communicate. Brad, I coached high school basketball, specifically head coached freshman boys for a couple of years. And if those wonderful young men can learn to effectively communicate, we have to, as grown people with salary jobs. It's just, I already said this in the promo. It's unacceptable to not communicate to people, especially when there's money involved, when you're serving a populace, when you're serving customers, they need to know of stuff. We have to communicate. You can't be MIA, especially when you make nearly $200,000 per year. You have to be a maestro of effective communication. You just have to be.
Yeah.
Period. I don't think that's too much to ask.
No. There's probably some sort of systems that aren't in place that need to be put in place. And literally what we're talking about in my class right now, which, spoiler or a teaser, I guess, next week, we got some grad school talk back by popular demand from nobody, but back anyway, next week, some grad school talk.
Yeah. I look forward to it.
Tyler, what did we miss?
Oh man. Well, I got my list here. So let's check out what we may have missed. We covered a lot of ground today. I mentioned the Sting and MJF moment, which was quite surreal. We talked about CM Punk briefly, AEW Collision on Saturdays. Sky Blue is All Elite. We did not mention that last week.
No, and FTR is 4 years in. They got another 4 years.
Yes, I put Dax on here. I put in all caps Dax tweet. Right before we had our pre-pod meeting, I saw your quote tweet of Dax, because Dax was getting some flack from the IWC, I think particularly with regard to his relationship to Punk and really advocating for Punk coming back. But your quote tweet was
for Punk
really,
and Cornette, and they're not advocating for Cornette. He's just saying like Cornette's really smart, which he is.
Your quote tweet,
he's not an asshole.
Your quote tweet was really pointed in that I just know how much you connect with Dax Harwood, the performer, and I don't know his shoot name, but Dax outside of the ring. So I just always enjoy.
I think it's David.
Yeah, that sounds right. I always enjoy hearing why people connect with certain wrestlers, and your love for Dax, your love and your appreciation for Dax has been very, very long standing. So I just wanted to give you and give him a shout out there. Really excited for this FTR run. And finally, I did want to give a shout out to Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor on Raw, simply because these are two of my favorite dudes in the business, and I always enjoy seeing those dudes anytime I can.
His name is David Harwood. That bothered me. I think what I can miss for the rest of time is seeing Don Callis's giant gaping wound from what I assume was probably when Moxley punched him, his glasses must have carved him. But that was gnarly, man. Like, that
was rough.
I just saw your eye twitch. It was so bad. You thought of it and it.
Yeah. Kenny Omega has good reason to be upset.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Kenny Omega coming out in the street fight clothes, the Young Bucks taking on the Blackpool Combat Club. All of that stuff is great. Jay White officially starting Bullet Club Gold in AEW is pretty cool. So we're getting Bullet Club in AEW. Lots of things going on. I don't know that we missed anything that's super worth talking about otherwise, other than the stuff going on around the business.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, what did you think of Jeff Hardy's return? Remains to be happy for him in the moment. Hoping he's well. Remains to be seen.
I hope he's well. He's done recovery. Matt said he's done recovery. Recovery went well. He's doing well. If all of those things are true, great. I'm super happy he's back. I'm pumped we're getting a Hardy compound match, but we better see broken Matt Hardy here. Yeah. I don't like Matt Hardy just doing delete stuff and not being broken Matt Hardy. It's weird. It's just weird to me. I need that. I need broken Matt Hardy doing the laugh and going orgasmic in his weird voice. I think it'll be amazing. And I want to see one last run for Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff deserves to have that kind of finale to his career, whether or not it is a last run. You know how it goes. Ric Flair wrestling in his late 70s. So hopefully not in his 80s. Hopefully he's done now, but who knows? I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. A lot of people are upset, but it's, you don't know how many people are in the back struggling with addiction right now. You don't know how many people are working in your office that are struggling with addiction, or even in your home. Sometimes we have blinders on. So for people to just be like, oh, he almost hit somebody in a car and DUIs and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I get it. It's upsetting. It's really upsetting. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I want to see everybody get well and stay well for their families, for their friends, for themselves, all of those things. But at the same time, it's naive to think that this is the only person that's addicted. This is the only person struggling. That's crazy. So hopefully nothing but good things.
Yeah, well said. Well, if you are hearing and or seeing this right now, thank you so much. Every single listen, watch, like, retweet, text, everything. It means the world to us. You can catch Brad, or you can find Brad and catch him on Twitter at WindDuster. You can find me at Tyler J. McDowell, and we will always promote the website, gimmickinfringementpod.com. You can find our articles about on there, ranging from all topics, right? We write about pro wrestling. We talk about culture and life and mental health. And I am so proud of the work that Brad's done making that website look as poppin' as it is. So once again, gimmickinfringementpod.com. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you didn't, don't tell nobody. We're wishing you a week full of joy, good health, great wrestling, and Phoenix Suns victories. We love you all, and we will see you next time. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.